Alright, welcome back. This is the third video, I think. Yeah, third video in our next Fallout 4 mechanics for Desolate Star. Mechanic that we're working on today for New Mechanics Monday. I guess it's Monday. I don't even know what day it is. Basically, it is a snap to game object build mechanic similar to Fallout 4. What we have so far, real quick summary. We can grab our game object, we can move it around in the world. We spent way too much time creating a maximum zoom and a minimum zoom. And the next thing that we're going to do is create a wrapper to say that we're in build mode. Then after that, we're going to start working towards snapping this bad boy right in there. But I just now realized something. Our zoom is horrendous. Literally horrendous. So we're going to change that real quick. We're going to kind of play around with that for a second. And get over to the right monitor. Our zoom Z-step. Zoom step. So let's go with some arbitrary bullshit number of 0.37. Then we'll go from there. See how it looks in the game. Okay. And we're going by, basically I'm going by what it looks like, comparatively speaking, trying to snap it to other objects. So that's 1/3 of one unit. Essentially, a little bit more technically. That's not terrible. It would still fire the collider at 1/3, I believe. Yes, it is. It is firing our colliders at 1/3, so that's pretty good. That's kind of what we want actually. So let's go ahead and set it to 1/3 of a unit, which 1/3 of 1 is basically 3.33 repeating. So we're just going to do 0.34. Okay, nice and arbitrary. So what am I talking about when I'm talking about a wrapper mechanic for our build environment or our build mechanics? So let me load up Fallout 4, which I think I have it. Yep. So the way we have our game right now, if I am running around in our game and I am blasting away at everything, and I accidentally hit my E key in a frantic of motion, oh crap, what did I just do? You know, just like that. And I accidentally hit my E key while I'm looking at this brick. Well, then I'm trying to move a brick. While I have my gun out, I'm being attacked, and I'm in build mode all at the same time. That is not ideal as a gamer, right? Because we'd basically be running around like this. Our gun out in front of us, a brick in our face, and our enemy basically taking us to town. So what do we want? We need a mechanic that's something like this. Hit our build key, hold it down, boom. It holsters our gun for us, which is fantastic, and then sends us into build mode. Then we can grab objects and move them. We can scrap them if we want to, or we can build other crap on top of it, or around it, or wherever the snap points are set to, right? So that's what we want. We want this UI that you see right here. We want this build mode wrapper for our code. So let's go back over to Unity and get on our code here. So essentially, what we're doing right now, we have it set to where's my controls function? If we hit a key, then it sends out a ray cast and hits the object and makes it movable, and that's it, right? There's no check to see if we're in build mode. Okay, so what we need is a hotkey that we can hold down. If it's held down for X number of seconds, then boom, it goes into build mode, and then we can do this, and it's just fine, right? So we're gonna do this visually, but simply. So let's start with the simple crap first, and we're actually doing this note right here, Boolean build mode for build mode mechanic. So let's say we need another. Let's make some more room here. We're gonna say in build mode. Go back over here. My computer is very, very slow. I'm sorry. It's an old 8-core bulldozer, and I've got a lot of crap in Desolate Star, so it takes a while. So there's our build mode wrapper Boolean, and we need something visually on screen to tell us that that we are in build mode. Whoops, wrong axis. There we go. So this is our canvas. And let me just get centered in on it here. You know what? I don't like that skybox. I apologize. I should have destroyed that a long friggin' time ago. It's just too much on the screen for me for right now. It's in my way. And we're going to change our main camera. Wherever the crap it is, I am losing it. I'm on it. Oh my god. Camera. Solid color. Black. And our ground is black, so let's actually do kind of a slight gray so we can kind of see where everything is. You can kind of see it down there, right here. Okay. Anyway, back to what we were doing. Canvas. So we need something to say when this is on, turn on all these the canvas elements, and that way the player knows that they are in build mode, and then they can start moving stuff around. So we're going to go create empty. We're going to create a group. Let's see. Let's call it build mode UI. Okay. Now we're going to add the canvas group. This is what's going to actually make it visible and interactable, is this canvas group right here. So we're going to take this build cube button that we already created. We're going to put it in there, and that way you can kind of see what I'm talking about. See how it fades out when our alpha gets to 0. Alpha is your transparency, for those that don't know. Keep this in mind. I've said this before in other videos that I've done, but it's good to remind, because I always forget. Turning this to 0 does not completely turn off the canvas. I can still start this game and click that button and things will happen, because this canvas group is still interactable and it will block your raycasts. Now, that is a problem for us, isn't it? Because this is going to be on top, and we still need raycast to go from the camera down to our object. So we're going to have to do some experimenting to see what we can do to maybe set UI, set some layers maybe. We'll kind of have to figure that out here as we go. But what we're going to do is just set up our camera, our UI real quick to let us know that we're in build mode. So we're going to do UI text. And we're going to make it beautiful lime green, which I think I've stored here. We're going to say in build mode. And we're going to do center, best fit. Actually, we need to do pixel perfect. Don't ever forget that. In my opinion, it should be on by default, but I didn't make this thing, so there we are. Oh, wrong thing. And we're going to move this up here to the top. And we're going to say bold. And we're just going to size it out. Okay. So when we're in build mode, build mode text. Notification. Okay. When we are in build mode, I want this canvas to pop up and display and show everybody that we are in build mode. So let's go over here. We're going to need a public, let's see, public, whoops, forgot something. Let's see, build mode canvas. Us know we are in build mode. Ta-da! Super simple. Alright, so go back over here, click on our cube. Now this is a lot to put on one game object, I understand that. I'll probably come up with a better system when I implement it for Desolate Star, but when I do, I will go through that accordingly. Take this over here. Okay. Now, when we go into build mode, which is our private boolean here, when we go into build mode, we want the canvas to turn on, and then set our in build mode to true. Okay. So we need a hotkey to be able to do this. We're going to go up to Edit, Project Settings, Input, and let's see what we got here. I don't think I'm using the V key right now. I don't believe that I am. So let's create another one here, 42. Make your jokes accordingly. start build mode. We're going to set it to V. We're not going to set an alternate or a negative because we don't. We're going to use the same key to enable and disable our build mode. Back over to our code. Alright, so first we're going to add our wrapper down here and say okay, if in build mode equals true, then we should be able to do this. Now, right now as it stands, our game should be technically broken. So let's take a look. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and hit play. I'm gonna leave you guys in the editor window, that way you guys can just see. Actually, you know what? This is where we stand right now. Our canvas is turned on. Doesn't work. So it's not even firing our console output, which is fine for right now. So let's turn this off and see what happens. I'll just hide it visually and turn off raycast and everything, see what happens. So no console output. Okay. So that's fine. So let's do some more testing real quick and let's see what happens. Comment that out. Comment that out. All I'm doing, sorry, just commenting out our in build mode trigger, and then we're going to set our build mode UI to off, and then we're going to test it. Something is still blocking our raycast somewhere. So now it's not working at all. It should be at least firing. Should be at least firing this debug command right here. Because we commented this out. Did I not save it? I didn't save it. Blathering blatherskite. There we go. So this is what I wanted to test. We're going to set this to interactable and blocks raycasts. It's still set to 0. Yeah, oh, we can move it. Okay, excellent, excellent. Okay, let's set it to 1. Make sure that it's, I think, okay, it's still working. I can't honestly explain that, to be honest. Let's see, camera, our raycast is going from our camera to our, that's why. It's going from camera to the object, not the pointer to the object, I think. So we may not have a problem there. So that's fine. However, we're still going to completely disable this every time we disable, quote unquote, the build mode, because we want to be able to move this over to Desolate Star very easily, and there's multiple layers of UI in Desolate Star. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you can watch the other videos. You can actually watch the very last video of my last Fallout series, Fallout 4 to Desolate Star series, and you'll see how I did the terminals, the computer terminals, and you'll see what I mean about the different UI levels. So let's go ahead and test this now that we have our Boolean in there. That should technically break it, but in a proper way. Controlled breaking. Excellent. Okay. So it is not firing, and that is correct. That's what we want. Now, what we want to do is hold a key down, start a counter. If it goes to 3 seconds, 2 seconds, then we want to enable our build mode. We don't want to do it as a toggle, because if you accidentally hit the build key in the game, we don't want it flopping back and forth, especially in the middle of combat. That would be a nightmare. So we need a couple of private variables. And we're going to say, I wonder if we do serialize field above this, if it will actually show now. No, it does not. Yes, it does. There it is. Interesting. Okay. So, I'm going to Google this shit real quick and find out if there's a way to do this for a block or not. Documentation does not say. So if you know a way of serializing multiple variables, let me know, because I kind of want to monitor some of these, but others I don't. So like that, we don't really need to serialize. So anyway, let's create our variables for, let's see, we need a float, build mode counter, mode counter to enable build mode. Now, we want to hold down the key to enable the build mode, but when we're in build mode, we just want to be able to either hit escape to cancel the build mode, or hit the build mode key and toggle it off immediately. Actually, you know what? We've got Fallout 4 loaded. Let's see how the professionals do it. Okay. So V, holding it down, 3 seconds, boom, open that up. If I hit V, nothing. If I hold down V, nothing. So their toggle is the escape key. And as you can see in the top left corner, hold down V to open the workshop menu. That is another toggle or another boolean because I'm standing in the build area. Let me run way over here. I have a mod that increases the build area. So you see how it turned it off? And as I get closer, now I'm in the build area right about, well, should be. Ooh, interesting. What's up, Bethesda? Interesting. So what we're going to do is when we're in a buildable area, we want that toggle to fire off and let them know, hey, you're in a buildable area right now. You can go ahead and start building. So here's what we found out, though. Holding down the toggle turns on the UI. Hitting escape is their toggle to turn it off. So what we're going to do is actually do the same key to hold down, toggle on, and then press once to toggle the build mode off. So we're going to do public float I don't even know how to short term this. Basically, the float variable for how long the player needs to hold down the key, build mode key hold. When does the player hold down the build menu key to turn it on? For enable or disable. Okay, we'll cut this down right here. There we go. So let's say we want the... Now this would be a variable that's on the player itself, not on every single game object, obviously. That would be really bad coding, but we're just dealing with this one block, so it's fine for right now. So we're going to say 3 seconds. I may recode that in a later video. I may move that. Make myself a note. Move to another object other than build objects. Okay. So we're going to move that later, but for right now it's fine. It's junky, but it'll work. So what we're going to do, let's see, I think it's get key down. I'm thinking. Where's my controls thing, first of all? Okay. So we're going to say key for build mode, enable or disable. It's going to be an if statement we already know, so it's going to say input dot get key down, I think. or get key returns true while the user holds down the key identified by the key code enum parameter. That'll work. Okay, and we're gonna call what did we call it? I'm losing my mind, y'all. Project settings, input, start build mode. Oh my gosh, we need to change that because I don't like that. What in the world is going on? Okay, build mode. We'll just call it build mode. Build mode. That way it's not strictly a hotkey to enable or disable. That way nobody's got any question. Okay, so input.getKey, build mode. We're gonna say, what was our float build mode counter plus equals time dot delta time, and another if statement, and say if our counter is greater than or equal to our build mode hotkey hold time. Right here, we're going to set our build mode in build mode equals true, and then we're going to reset our build mode counter to 0. Okay, and I don't know if there's a way to force, like if we're holding the key down for 3 seconds, at that 3 seconds, we want the build mode to enable, and then we essentially want to not really turn the key off, but stop the player from continuously holding that key down forever. But I don't think it's going to matter, so we're going to have to do some experimenting and find out. So let's see what we got here. Oh, we've got our mode here, so we also need to say build mode canvas dot get component canvas group dot alpha equals 1, and then we need to make it interactable. Interactable equals true, and then excuse me, raycasts equals true. And we'll have to remember to turn all this stuff off later. We could put this in another function, but it's only 3 lines of code, so it's not really that big of a deal. Either way we do it, it's going to be only 6 for right now. It may be more later, and we may do something different. Our player in Desolate Star currently already has about 4 scripts on the player controller, and they do different things, so I may crunch that up and clean up my code later. But anyway, so this should work. Let's test it. See what happens. Wait for our compile. Okay. Click on our build cube 2. Come on. And I'll move you guys over to the game screen. Waiting. Fail right off the bat. Input key name build mode is unknown. Ka-chunk. Okay. Edit. Project settings. Input. Build mode. Right there. So we have a fun little problem here. Let's see what's going on. Control apostrophe will take you straight to the Unity docs. See. Okay. Returns true while the user holds down the key identified by name. Think auto fire. For the list of key identifiers, see the input manager. When dealing with input, it is recommended to use input.getAccess and input.getButton instead, since it allows end users to configure the keys. Okay. What if we do get button? So we want it to hold down either way. We want to hold down design, right, while the counter is ticking away. Okay. So we're not, build mode doesn't work. So holding down V. Okay, so that worked. As you can see over here, we've got our canvas and everything that worked, but we still had some errors fire off. So let's go ahead and stop this and see what's going on here. Unassigned reference exception, the variable build mode canvas of test build snap has not been assigned. That's why. So we're going to go over here, build mode. It is assigned there. So it's probably firing out of frame for some reason. Oh, I think I have a theory. So my theory is that it's actually counting above our build mode key hold time of 3 seconds, and when those few ticks over that, it fires these first two as null. For some reason, I don't know why it's firing null. Oops, counter. But let's take a look. Variable build mode canvas of test build snap has not been assigned. Okay. All right, let you guys see. Whoops, the game. Okay, yeah. Okay, so we are running right now. So I'm gonna hold down V. 1, 2, 3. There we go. And it actually fired before then. Let me show you the debug output. So that fired, oh come on, from the get-go. So I'll have to theorize why that's happening. But it is working. We can now go into build mode. Bada bada bada. It is totally now working. Zoom out still works. Zoom in still works. Our min, our max. We don't have a snap yet. We haven't snapped yet. We haven't snapped anything. But that works. We still don't have a spawn thing. But right now we don't have a way of getting out of build mode. But one thing I wanted to test was what would happen if the player continued to hold down the build mode button, the V key. It looks like it's just ticking away. When it gets above 3, or 3, it just kind of ticks down to 0, and this isn't really a problem in my mind. So I don't think that's going to be something that I'm going to bother fighting with, trying to accommodate. Let's see, it's greater than or equal to this. But why is it firing reference exception from the get-go is the question. Okay, let's do this. Now I know that there's a million different ways that you can debug, do this, that, and the other thing in Unity. I don't know them all. I'm not gonna lie. So suggestions, comments, whatever on how to do better debug, knock yourself out. Build mode canvas not equal null. Okay, and I'm gonna leave you guys a view on the editor so you can see if it fires a failure. I'm gonna hit the E key first. Okay, so build mode is not engaged. Holding down V. Ka-chunk. Okay, I see the UI. Build mode is engaged. And we didn't get any errors. No critical errors there. It looks like the timer went a little weird for some reason, but it's fine because we did get rid of our errors. That's what we wanted. I am satisfied with that. Now, we have to get out of build mode. So what we're going to do is do the same if statement here, or rather the same key. We're just going to change some things. So it's going to be get what is it? Get button down, I think. Get button. Okay. Returns true during the frame the person pressed down the virtual button. So let's go with get button up. All right. So first, let me think. Yeah. If we need to verify that we're actually in build mode before we turn it off. Oh my gosh, my typing is crap tonight. If it is in build mode, debug.log. Okay, what in the world? We are in build mode now. Okay, then we're going to set in build mode equals false. Debug.log. We are no longer in build mode. And what we need to actually do to properly measure this is set our variable at the end here. That way we can track exactly exactly what the variable value is. And this will kill this, so we need to do this and turn everything off. Okay, so that basically just turns off our canvas. This turns it on. Turns on build mode canvas. And this is going to turns off build mode canvas. Shockingly difficult. Okay. Hey, at least it didn't take us 40, well, I was going to say at least it didn't take us 40 minutes to get this far, but I'm looking at my timer and it's at 31 minutes. Awkward. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to move this, you know what? Let's do game view first. Okay. So hit my E key. I cannot move. We're not in build mode yet. Okay. Hold down V. In build mode. Whoa! It just went out. Ah ha ha ha. We do have a bug. We do have a problem. So, this sucks. So we can't actually use the V key because it's going to continue to fire true, but then it's also going to say get key up. I wonder if we switch it to get key down. Let's try that. Get button up. Up versus down. Get button versus get up. Okay, so let's see. Oops, I just broke something. Get button up. Get button down. This will probably fail and do the same thing also because my key will always be down. So it's probably going to fire true and screw something up. And I've already got errors. Okay. See if I'm going to hold down the key for a while now and see what happens. Okay. Okay. And I'm going to hit my V key again. And it turns off build mode. Excellent. Now, we do have errors. And I have a feeling this is the same error that was going on before. Yes, it is. So we're just going to wrap this in the same if statement. Just so it does not fire more errors and clutter up our beautiful console output that we're so fond of. Okay. Bam. Now let's actually do something else. Let me turn off some of these other debugs that we no longer need for the object moving. So that way we can actually see what the hell is going on in our game. Yep. Oh my gosh, what in the world? I swear I've not been drinking that much tonight. Shut up. Okay, let's try this again and see what our output looks like. Should be a little bit cleaner this time. We shouldn't have any critical errors, and I totally just broke my own rule. Okay. Game view. Alright, we're in play mode. Hit my E key. Can't move it around. Hold down V. Okay. Yep, that's moving around. Now it did fire a couple of debugs that I was not expecting. I'll go ahead and show you guys that. Look at the bottom console there. That is the debug output from our turn off build mode mechanic. But we're in build mode now. I can move, scroll out, scroll in. Still no snap, but I did turn off all the debug crap from that. Okay, and let's say I want to leave it right there and exit build mode. Hit V one time. Bam, out of build mode. Can't move that. It works. However, we have some unexpected debug output here, which means that this portion somewhere here, this portion right here is actually firing not necessarily erroneously. So if we so this actually should not, this right here, oops, this right here should not be firing until we've held down the button for 3 seconds and this is fired off. Interesting indeed. Let's test it. Let's test some theories here. Okay. All I'm going to do is, once the game starts, I'm going to hit the V key one time. It is firing erroneously. The mechanic works. And here's the killer. The mechanic works. How much is this function firing? How much is this actually killing us? Probably not a whole lot. However, we have a logic problem somewhere. So we could use another key, and we could use the escape key, right? But when we implement it into Desolate Star, the escape key would have to run several checks. Are we in build mode? If yes, cancel build mode first. Are we out of build mode? Okay, great. Now if they hit the escape key again, then bring up the main menu. And I'll show you what that looks like in Fallout 4 and what I'm talking about. So if I'm, let me go ahead and get in build mode. Build mode. So if I hit the escape key one time, it just takes me out of build mode. If I hit it again, it takes me to the main menu, right? Not straight to the main menu from build mode. That only happens when you tab out of the game and then come back, because they don't have a run and background feature. So that's probably why they did that. So let me go back over here. Let's see what I've got in my input. Where am I? Input. Alright, menu. Set to menu or escape. So let's do that. Let's just use our menu key. Menu. And we'll do some tests. So we are ultimately setting it to another key. I don't know if I'll... I don't like doing that, actually. I don't like wasting a key and having to create more work for myself later on just with the menu. So it's not firing now. The build mode is on. If I hit V again, it doesn't change it. If I hit escape, though, boom, it fires it the way that we want. I'm going to let you guys argue about what's proper programming etiquette and all that crap. I will probably go back to the way that it was just to make it easier on myself later on, but I have not decided yet. However, this video is at 38 minutes and 30 seconds as we speak, so I'm going to go ahead and stop this one. We have finished our wrapper mechanic here, our in-game build mode mechanic, so we're done with that one. Let's knock that off the list. The next thing we have is our snap to mechanics and our raycast out of game objects bounds mechanics. This requires this to be done because I can't build this if there's no snap mechanics built yet. So I'm going to take a little break, a little personal break. I'm going to go ahead and stop this video. I'm going to probably get something to eat and drink and then work on the mechanics a little bit. Make sure that my snapping logic is correct. And then I'll record the, fourth-ish video for this series. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.